வணக்கம் மக்களே, welcome to another video from உங்கள் travel பண்ணும் தமிழன். During this COVID-19 critical situation all around the world, many people have got stuck in their home locations and trying to come back to their work locations. So this video is going to be about my travel experience when I traveled from Chennai to Brussels, Belgium during this COVID-19 situation. This video is also going to contain many rules and regulations that needs to be followed during this travel, and also some of the FAQs asked by the travelers who are trying to travel during this COVID-19 situation. This video has got a bigger wide range of audience, so this video is completely going to be in English. So without wasting time, let's get into the video. So, before starting your travel, pre-planning is very important in any kind of travel, and that too during this COVID-19 situation, pre-planning is very important. And I have been receiving many questions stating where to book the flight tickets. Point number one, many airlines, that two official airlines of each countries, have been given the authority to run repatriation flights by the Indian government. So you need to book the ticket from these airlines. For example, in EU countries, official airlines is Air France, Netherlands official airlines is KLM, Germany's official airlines is Lufthansa. These are the three known airlines to me who are running repatriation flights from India to through their respective countries. Point number two, don't use any third-party websites to book your tickets, because in case of cancellation of these tickets, there are many cancellations which are going on. So in case of cancellation of tickets, it's better if you book it from the direct official site of these airlines. It will be good that you will get the refund back as soon as possible, and there won't be any hassles in getting your refund back. So do go to the official websites of these official airlines of these countries to book your tickets when you are coming back from India to your work location places in European Union. And point 3 to be noted is, when you are trying to book a ticket from other airlines, the tickets will show up in their sites, but it's not 100% sure that the flights will take off. So it's better that you go directly to the official airlines of the list that you have from the European Union and book the tickets there. Because I have an experience that I booked a ticket from Gulf Air, but 2 days after my booking, the flight got cancelled. So it's better that you just book the tickets from these official airlines who are allowed to run repatriation flights from India. So I booked my tickets from Bangalore to Amsterdam, since there is no flights from Chennai flying directly to any of the European countries in these official airlines. So I have to decide how to travel from Chennai to Bangalore first. You have two options. You can either travel by road or you can fly from Chennai to Bangalore. So I decided to travel by road, since I'm skeptical about the flight which is running from Chennai to Bangalore every day at 6 p.m. in the evening. So I don't want to take any risk for this travel, hence I decided to travel from Chennai to Bangalore via road. So we took the road of Chennai, Kanjipuram, Ambur, Krishnagiri, Hosur, and then to Bangalore. So this is the route which we took. Since the lockdown has been extended, you need to have a TNE pass for traveling from Chennai to anywhere within the state as well as outside the state. So this is an interstate travel where you're traveling from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka. You definitely need to have a Tamil Nadu e-pass. Apply for Tamil Nadu e-pass. There is a link which will be mentioned in the description below. Please go check out the description box as well. So I will put the Tamil Nadu e-pass which I got from the particular website here. So you will see the Tamil Nadu e-pass somewhere here. There you will find all the details that you need to enter while applying for Tamil Nadu e-pass. And once you reach Hosur, that is the border between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, there will be another checking where you need to give your Karnataka e-pass. Many people have said to me that you don't need a Karnataka e-pass if you have a Tamil Nadu e-pass. but that is totally wrong. You definitely need to have a Karnataka e-pass. The link to apply for Karnataka e-pass is also been mentioned in the description box right below. Please do go and check. So what are the important things that needs to be noted right here for applying this Karnataka e-pass? The first thing is the check post that allows people to get inside Karnataka. So I am traveling from Tamil Nadu, so there are certain check posts which allow people to travel from Tamil Nadu inside Karnataka. First one is Attibele check post. Attibele check post is the check post is the most used check post for the people who are traveling from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka. Slots available in Attibele are so less. So the mistake which I did, I don't want any of you to do the same mistake. Since there is no slots in Attibele, I just booked a random check post and applied for Karnataka e-pass. But they were not allowing me inside because I chose a check post which allows people to enter Karnataka from Bombay. So they are so strict about this, so they didn't allow me inside the state. So they also gave me another option. So point 2 to be noted, if you don't find a slot in Attibele check post, please do give the check post name as Chandakpur. I will mention it here. So Chandakpur is another check post where they will allow you to enter from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka. So the two check posts which you can use for entering from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka are, first is Attibele, the second one is Chandakpur. The next point to be noted is that as soon as you apply for the e-pass in Seva Sindhu application, you will get an acknowledgement. The acknowledgement is sufficient for people to travel or cross the border, because I just applied the pass on the go, like sitting in the car. I was applying for the pass, I got the acknowledgement. With the acknowledgement itself, the authorities have allowed us to enter from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka. The acknowledgement comes immediately after you submit the form, so it won't take much time, but for safer side, please do apply all these passes and everything well in advance before you travel. You will be allowed inside the Karnataka state only after placing a stamp on your palm that you will be quarantined in home for the next 14 days. This stamp will not have any effect for your travel. It won't have any problem for your travel through airlines. Since I have to stay one day at my friend's place, after taking a bath it just goes off, so it doesn't have any problem for your travel. So I have to stay one day at my friend's place. There was a delicious meal provided by my friend's mom, so I need to thank my friend Madhuri as well as her mom for providing me with a delicious food. I will also put a post for make you guys drool. We are in Bangalore. I stayed there for a day and I have flight at 1:25 in the midnight. Always they say during an international travel in an Indian airport, it's better to go to the airport 3 hours in advance. But during this Corona COVID time, I need to go 4 hours or 4.5 hours in advance to the airport. Fortunately, it was very useful for me because there was a long queue in the Bangalore airport. Before getting inside the airport itself, there was so many checks and we need to have our temperature checks for 3 times. Also, first important point to be noted is there is a self-declaration form that you need to enter while coming from Bangalore or any part of India to and traveling and having an international travel. You need to provide a self-declaration form. There has to be 2 forms that you need to provide. One at the security desk, just entering the airport you need to provide the form, and the second one is taken at the immigration desk. This form is provided by the airport authorities themselves, but for your safer side, description, I will also put a link in the description from where you can download the self-reporting form. So as I crossed the immigration, everything was smooth and there was no hassle. And also last minute calls with my friends, my some important messages from my loved ones, talking to my mom, and everything was over inside the airport itself. Then we are allowed to check in into the flight of Air France. So once after doing all this, I was in the boarding gate. People were called inside the flight by the cabin crew members from zone to zone. Once you get your boarding pass, you will have the zone mentioned in the boarding pass. So people were called one after the other with respect to their zones. France was providing everyone with a face mask, and also surgical mask, and everything was also provided there. An important point to be noted here is that you won't be allowed inside the flight if you are having a cloth mask. Only N95 mask and surgical masks are allowed inside the flight. So about my Air France travel, the flight was super smooth. The France flight provided me with the best leg space I have ever had in any of the airlines. I have traveled in many airlines, but this flight had a bigger leg space, a good leg space for an economy class passenger. And there was a good snack, and also delicious breakfast was provided. I was so happy. So it was a great food that was provided by Air France, and also I had a good sleep. And since the flight was so smooth, once the flight landed in Paris, I had to wait for some time inside the flight, since passengers were getting out slowly. And also there was a smooth transfer in CDG while I went from one terminal to another terminal to catch my next flight to Netherlands, to Amsterdam. But the only issue I had here was that there was no one asking for anything. They also had a self-declaration form that you need to submit in Paris. But when I traveled like 2 weeks back. When I traveled, there was no one asking me about any self-declaration form or something. But now, when you're traveling in any of these countries, any of the European countries, you should provide the self-declaration form. You have to enter that online. I will also mention that in my description box. Please do check it out. You have to enter the self-declaration form and submit it in the Paris immigration authorities for your entry into the EU territory. So I was stamped inside EU territory, and I was to the boarding gate for my next flight to Amsterdam. And the next flight to Amsterdam was in KLM. It was another smooth flight, a short flight from Paris to Amsterdam. The scheduled time was just 1.5 hours, but it flew much earlier. Like, it just flew like for 50 minutes to 1 hour. We just reached Amsterdam. I was not knowing whether when they took off and when they landed. It was so smooth and so short as well. And there was no hustle when I came out of Amsterdam airport as well. My luggage was the first one in the belt, so I just took my luggage and I came out. Again, there was no questions asked by anyone in the airport authorities. There was no questions. Only one security person asked me, like, where are you traveling? I just said I'm traveling to Brussels, so they just allowed me outside the airport. Then I have to wait for a long time, because there was a long transfer time for me when I traveled from Amsterdam to Brussels. I traveled in Flixbus. Flixbus was the only option, the cheapest option for me to travel from Amsterdam to Brussels. So I was waiting there for like 3 to 4 hours. During those time also, no one questioned me to wait for like 3 to 4 hours in Amsterdam Schiphol airport to catch my Flixbus. And Flixbus journey was also so smooth. I just got into the bus and I just had a good sleep inside the bus. And also, I don't really know like how that journey happened from Amsterdam to Brussels. It was so short and so smooth as well. And I also want to thank Ranga. My friend was there to pick me up from Brussels North Station, and he dropped me in my home. And my speed home was awaiting my arrival, and I just like after refreshing, I just like fell down in my speed bed, and I was just sleeping for the whole night. This is how my journey panned out. Everything was smooth. If you have all the details, all the files, all the things that you need to have during this travel, if you have everything in your hand, your travel will also be so smooth when you're traveling from India to any part of European Union. So now let's jump into the frequently asked questions by many people in a group or in any common forum that you see. So I was in many common forums to get all the details and things and information about the travel. So I would like to share some light to you guys about this information and also answers for the frequently asked questions. First one frequently asked question is about the e-pass from different states. Every state has now been under a strong lockdown rules, so every state has their own rules for traveling inside as well as from one state to another state. For example, Tamil Nadu has a different rule, Karnataka has a different rule, and also other states have their own rules. So if you are traveling from one state to another state inside India, so it's better to go to the official sites of these states and check the rules and regulations that needs to be followed. The timings on the airports, how much time it will take me for transit and all those things in the airport. For me, as in my experience, it's better that you go to the airport 4 or 5 hours well in advance from your takeoff time. Having long queues, there will be many checks which is happening in many places, so it's better that you go to the airport 4 or 5 hours in advance. Yes, this is another most frequently asked question. Should I need a e-pass when I'm transiting through an airline or in an airport? For example, in a sense, when I travel from Chennai to Bangalore, if I travel in a flight, should I have a transit e-pass as well when I'm going inside the Bangalore airport? At the time when I was traveling, the e-pass was not required, but this time you need to submit an e-pass in the same Seva Sindhu app for Bangalore airport, and every airport, every frequently used airport in India require an e-pass even though we are transiting through that airport. Yes, flight from Chennai. So I didn't take the flight from Chennai because I was not ready to take another risk. So I traveled through road. But there is a daily flight which is running from Chennai to Bangalore every day at 6 p.m. in the evening. It's an Indigo flight. So better go to the Indigo site, and if you want to book a flight from Chennai to Bangalore, you have it in the Indigo site. Upcoming Vande Bharat flights, where to check the upcoming Vande Bharat flights. I'm also going to mention the link for Vande Bharat right below in the description box. So as and when they release the phases, the flight details will be updated in this website. So please go check out for the upcoming flights in Vande Bharat mission as well. The link is mentioned in the description box. Do I need to fill up a self-declaration form when I'm entering any country in EU? The answer for this question is yes. Right now, every place in Europe is expecting a second wave, so you need to mention your details of your stay once after you enter the country. So you need to mention the details about your stay and everything. That needs to be done in the self declaration form. Many countries have made this online, so I will put online declaration sites for each countries which I know in the description box below. So do go check the description box again. And also, if you have any comments or any questions you need to ask, please do mention in the comment box so I can provide you information about this if I have it. I will definitely search for it and provide you the information which is required. So I hope that I have provided most of the information which I experienced during this travel from Chennai to Brussels during this Corona lockdown situation. So if you have any questions, if you have anything, if the information which I provided is something wrong, please do mention in the comment box. Also, if you have any questions related to same, please do mention the same in the comment box as well. I hope you will have a safe journey back to your work locations. I hope everyone in the world is safe. See you in another video soon again. Thank you so much for watching the video again. See you in the next video in the upcoming days. Until and unless it's bye from your Travel Pannum Tamilan. Peace out. Bye bye.